Hi, and welcome to Game Week 24's edition of InterDreamTeam. With the current top three all set to pull double duty this week, it's sure to be a bumper weekend of excitement and points. Get it right, and you could be catapulted up the rankings. We're a man light this week. Ross is doing his best De Zerbi impression after an expensive trip to the dentist's. So just me and you this week, Rob. How you going?
Yo, baby. All right, mate?
Yeah. Not too bad. Doing better than our old pal Ross anyway.
Yeah. Just us. Old Ross is incapacitated. So
yeah, just a handsome two-way this week. So right, let's get into it. Let's have a look at options for strikers this week then, mate. So he's back. The big Norwegian dropped in against Everton just with a brace, you know. Didn't want to come in too hard. Just a cheeky brace this weekend. He had me regretting my captain's choice after that match. His striking partner there, Alvarez, still ticking over quite nicely, even though he's one of the most transferred out players this game week. Another one I've seen transferred out a lot this week, Ollie Watkins, and he's had a lot of flack recently. You know, people wanting more returns from him, but as you can see, averaging 12.3 from the last 3 game weeks, 9 shots, 9 shot on target points, 3 assists, 2 goals, so 5 goal involvements there in 4 games. Yeah, and performing over double his seasonal average scoring points. So, you know, still not a bad option, Ollie Watkins, even though people are moving him out of their team. Quick note there about Matthias Cunha. If you still have him, time to let go. Hamstring's gone. Now, a quick mention here for the big Dane, the young, hungry Dane at the bottom of the spreadsheet there, Højlund. 6 goals in the last 7 games from 9 shots on target. He's absolutely clinical. Jota and Nunes are ticking over really nicely at Liverpool. They're scoring goals for fun. You know, people have fairly good ownership in them players. If you've got them in your team, keep them in. Be aware that Salah he's back on the training pitch and he's going to get minutes this weekend, I'm sure of it. Okay, so on to the best of the rest. Few rogue ones on here. Muniz for Fulham. Just had to slot him in after his brace last weekend. He's not going to be going into many teams, is he? But, you know, fair play to the lad. He's putting up some good points, scoring better than Tony at the moment. How are we looking in the middle of the park then, Rob?
Wow. Yeah. Well, first of all, what I will say that we didn't really sort of go into too much with the intro is there are 5 teams who've got 2 matches in game week 24. So you've got Manchester City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Brentford and Luton. So obviously Brentford, like we said, really the only option you're probably going to be considering is probably Tony as a Brentford asset. Luton have got Man United and Liverpool, but you know you're losing 3-1 at home to Sheffield United. Yeah, I don't care how many points you got, Barkley, or how many assists you got, Doughty. Yeah, you're not getting in the old spreadsheet. All right, not going to happen. So yeah, I'm going to obviously just go through and try and highlight more the double game week players. So yeah, going through the list, tussling for the old top spot is straight up battle between Foden and Saka now, isn't it, at the moment? Both had monster weeks. Foden had 2 bites of the cherry, didn't he? Obviously got most of his points against Copenhagen, and Saka got his against West Ham in his single game. And we don't need to expand too much on these because, like I said, the first and second in terms of total points, also second and third in terms of most owned as well, behind Haaland. So I will talk a bit about Odegaard. He's got a double game week. His stats are okay. It's steady but not spectacular. He's got a couple of assists, 5 big chance points, which is pretty impressive. But there's one thing glaringly obvious that's missing from his game this season, really, and that's the goals, isn't it? Compared to last season. I will talk a little bit about the guys who had quite a good game week 23. Guimaraes, he got 16 points, didn't he? And very impressive. He's the second, I think over the last 3 games, I read that he's the second most in form behind Foden. So yeah, it's pretty impressive. Also Gallagher, he's on the outskirts of this. He had a good game at Crystal Palace, his old club as well. He got 17 points. So all very good, but that don't impress me much. Yeah, not too exciting for me. But one thing that does excite me, yeah, is Luis Diaz. So not sexually. But yeah, there he is. Look, 2 goals, 2 assists, 7 shot points. Very, very impressive. Obviously, we've been banging the old Diaz drum for a while now, haven't we? And he's playing in a front 3, and it's got a double game week this week. Play Liverpool. Play Liverpool. He is Liverpool. He plays Luton and has scored against Luton before this season, and he's got a double game week next week as well. Trossard's done all right. He scored recently. He's been playing up front though a lot. Jesus is back now, I think, so maybe his game time gets a bit limited. Doku's one that interests me now with the Grealish injury, because you wonder if his game time's going to go up a bit because of that. If you want more of a safer option, you're probably looking at Rodri. He's going to average about 5 points a game. He's just solid, isn't he? KDB, I mean, obviously, kind of goes without saying now, he's got to be part of your spine, really. I mean, for me, it's got to be Foden, Saka, KDB, minimum, really, in your midfield.
And I can actually tell you, he's had 8 assists in 7 games since returning. And that's not 7 games. That's 353 minutes he's played. To break that down, he has an assist every 44 minutes since his return from injury.
Need of a new defender this week, Adam. So what can we recommend? Yeah.
Well, this is Ross's section, and I did have a word with him, and I'm just going to have to consult my notes here. Let me just double check these before I get into it. So he said something along the lines of
sorry, what was that, Ross?
So defenders. All right, so I'm just gonna want to bang the drum here for Gabriel and Saliba. So obviously both scored from set pieces against West Ham at the weekend. Burnley are weak defensively from set pieces, and Arsenal are incredibly strong from set pieces this season. When Porto come to London, they've conceded 11 goals and not scored a goal in their 3 trips. So, last time they come, 2010, the self-proclaimed best striker in the world, Lord Bentner, bagged himself a hat-trick. You've got plenty of options still. Your Man City options, Kyle Walker ticks over nicely with a averaging sort of 5 or 6 per game week. And your Trippier and Schär options from Newcastle just always seem to bite you in your ass if you haven't got them in your team. You've got a favourable home match against Bournemouth, could potentially return good points again from that fixture.
We've got Ake on. He's in great form at the moment. For me, he's probably one of the standout defenders to bring in, really, because you've got that injury now, haven't you, to Gavdiol? Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah. So basically, yeah, I can see him getting quite a few games on the back of that, because I think he's out for about 2 or 3 weeks, I believe. So yeah, obviously they've got 3 double game weeks in a row coming up. So yeah, he's been my strongest choice. Obviously, Diaz is very solid. He seems to be playing quite a bit. Like we were saying about the Liverpool defence, it's tough because they've got a lot of their players are coming back now. Obviously, Robertson's back. Gomez can play left back, right back, centre back. Bradley, I think, will play quite a bit, but I don't know how much he plays because Klopp likes rotating it, doesn't he? So probably your Simon Says safe pick would be Ake, and your Maverick pick would be Bradley based on the game time. But two good options for me. So
Yeah.
Should we have a little look at the keepers now? Yeah.
Yeah. Let's take a look, mate.
Let's have a look. Right. Yeah, I'll be quite brief on this because there's not too much. Big red. Look at that. That's terrible. Yes, if you're one of these crazy managers who likes putting in a goalkeeper, he's going to be facing a lot of shots and he might keep it respectable. Probably Flecking's your man. They've got double game week, haven't they? And yeah, they've got Liverpool, Manchester City, and he actually got an assist, didn't he, against Man City in the last game. But probably most impressively, that he got 12 save points in that game as well. But,
Yeah, he did, yeah.
He's 1.9 million, but my choice is still the same as last week, and that's got to be Edison. He's now down to 2.5 million, and worked out he's actually the most owned goalkeeper in the game now. So, should we have a look at the old ticker then, mate?
There she is.
Oh.
So, just a couple of points to mention. Obviously, you've talked us through the 5 clubs involved in the double game week this week. Man City will be hosting Chelsea. Chelsea conceding around 2 goals per away game this season. I think if we add the Man City tax to that, then we can expect healthy returns from the Man City forward line against the Chelsea defence. We've also got 2 favourable fixtures for Liverpool, Brentford and Luton. Yeah, there's going to be points there for the Liverpool attacking players. Just keep an eye on this, and when you're making your decision which player you want, just refer back to the ticker here and try and get them double game weeks in your team.
Cool. Yeah, should we have a little look at the transfers then, mate?
All right. Yeah. Okay. So obviously, once again, I've slotted Salah in because he's back. He's 14.6% owned, and he's 4 in 4 against Brentford. I'm sure I had that written down. That was one of the stats that I found.
Looking at that, I'd be keen to get Salah in. Like you say, you can't be watching them Liverpool games comfortably if you haven't got him in your team, can you? So yeah, no. Definitely be looking to get him in now, sooner rather than later. KDB, if you haven't got him, I think is pretty much essential. And Diaz is one of the strongest picks, I think, this week in terms of transfers. So some good choices there.
And like I say, if you're looking for a defensive option this week, look no further than Gabriel. He's gonna get some points, and I'm pretty sure he's gonna get his fat head on a big old cross and bang it in the old bread bin. Captains.
Wow, this was it's going to be Haaland, isn't it? He's going to be probably the most popular. I also think KDB. You could have even said Foden, couldn't you, as well? Because I looked at Foden's stats, and his scored 5 goals in 5 games against Brentford, which is pretty impressive in itself. And yeah, it could be any of them guys, really, couldn't it? But I think Haaland's going to be the most people's safe option. He's scored 2 in 3 games against Chelsea. Yet to score against Brentford, though. But he would like to break that record. Yeah.
Interesting. You're right. With City, Liverpool, and Arsenal all pulling double duty this week. We're kind of spoilt for choice with captains. Like you say, I didn't want to put Foden in as well because it would have just 3 Man City players. And it's just worth pointing out that Saka, he's been removed from quite a few people's teams in the last few weeks, and then he's chipped in against West Ham with a brace, and suddenly he's looking like he's a spine player once again. Just a wee stat on Saka. He scored his 50th and swiftly followed by his 51st Premier League goals against West Ham. He has 13 goals and 12 assists in 31 games this season. And he now has a better record than Cristiano Ronaldo from his first 210 appearances in the Premier League. He beats him on goals and he beats him on assists. So, not bad from the young lad. And he could quite easily be a very good captain's choice there for this game week for sure. So, sport for choice. If you've got your max captain chip, you could very well make a case.
Yeah, good point, though.
You've got a team of Man City, Liverpool, and Arsenal players. Max captain all day long.
Yeah.
Why not? There's also plenty of evidence to allow for a 12-man choice. You go back to my strikers page at the start of our video. There's 9 out of 10 players all on green form, so there's plenty of options there for a 12-man option. And part of the bus, yeah, you could make a case for it as well. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, obviously it depends on the shape of your team, really, doesn't it? But part of the bus could be the good one, especially with your teams who've got the European games as well, because they're going to go strong.
I think we'll see a few part of the buses this weekend.
Definitely, mate, definitely. But final thoughts.
Okay, well, I got a thought for my old mate Ross.
Oh,
now he's not had a good week. Now I'm sure that you'll echo what I'm saying here, but I just wanted to cheer him up a little bit, and I found an old quote from Zinedine Zidane, and he said, "I once cried because I had no shoes to play soccer, but one day I met a man who had no feet."
What?
Also, just want to say thank you to our new subscribers. We've seen a nice little boost on our YouTube page for subscribers from our Game Week 23 video. So thank you and welcome along to our new followers. Big shout out to Guna Jen and Sterex and also Karen Drayton. Karen Drayton came along and I don't know what his looks like, but it looks different to mine. Karen Drayton, thank you for your continued support and comments. Everyone who's watching, feel free to interact with us and leave a comment. We'll always try and get back to you. Yeah. Anything else, Rob?
No, mate, that's about it, really.
All right. Come along to our socials, get involved. Please, if you enjoy the video, give us a like, give us a follow, and we will always try and put some new interesting content on our socials for you, as well as our weekly video. So, okay, enjoy the game week. Here's hoping for bags of goals and points, and here's to making the right captain choices this weekend. So, yeah, may the points be with you.
Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Just the two of us, you and I.